our mission to provide you with the ultimate creative toolkit. Today we have some exciting news and product updates.
Maxon's tools are empowering solutions that allow designers to envision the future and realize their creative vision. We've brought these great tools together under the Maxon banner to provide an integrated solution for the entire creative process. Everything an artist needs to create in all dimensions.
Beautiful, inspiring imagery is how artists express themselves and tell a story.
We're tearing down the barriers so creatives can use Redshift everywhere to create those images.
Our community of artists shine in every area of design. From motion graphics, visual effects, characters, creatures, interactive NFTs, mixed realities, and all types of visualization.
Our goal is to take the creative impulse and make the process as smooth as possible, enabling artists to express themselves without being bogged down by technology.
We are dedicated to bringing as much value to Maxon One as possible through constant innovation and now the regular release of dynamic assets, Maxon Capsules.
I'm pleased to announce that ZBrush is now included in Maxon One. All of our tools, Cinema 4D, Redshift, Red Giant, Universe, Forger, and now ZBrush, all included at the same affordable price.
And there's more. We'd like to share with you some exciting new enhancements and upgrades coming from all of our products. We kick things off with the newest addition to the Maxon family, ZBrush. Please welcome Paul Gabbery.
In ZBrush, we've always pushed for innovation in digital sculpting and continue to offer unique features that push the boundaries for artists to create their next creatures, characters, environments, toys, collectibles, jewelry design, and so much more. I'd like to take a moment and highlight some of the newest features that we've put in the last 4 versions of ZBrush, all done within the last 18 months.
ZBrush features enable you to use customizable brushes to shape, texture, and paint virtual clay in real time, providing an instant feedback. Let's take a look at some of the features that have set ZBrush as the standard for digital sculpting and digital painting. Creating a bas-relief in models has never been easier. Create Alpha is perfect for stamping details into jewelry, armor, props, vehicles, and so much more. Not only can you create an alpha, but load any model to project as a bas-relief into another. Apply one stroke to your surface, apply another stroke, and let ZBrush take care of the rest by interpolating the in-between strokes that can even change in size, color, or shape. Not only does this feature work with 2 sculpted strokes, but use it with our stager feature to interpolate the size, orientation, or color of one piece of geometry. Enhance your sculpting with a dynamic system that allows any surface to be contracted, expanded, inflated, or draped with gravity over any other meshes. Even use the dynamic feature with ZBrush's powerful brush system to create a superhero cape, a pillow, or provide that perfect wrinkle on any garment. Use masking to pin a portion of the mesh to create a point of interest, or use masks to provide a controlled wrinkle. Combine the dynamic system with our unique micro-poly meshes to give that extra realism to any article of clothing. Adjust and tweak all in real time, even with a single plane of geometry. Once you've achieved that perfect design, convert the micro-poly into geometry to add that extra bit of sculpted detail. The knife brushes cut through the surface with precision, removing volume, but closing the surface that is ready for sculpting. These brushes even work symmetrically in real time to provide an artist with an expanded freedom to design. This makes it perfect for hard surface design, 3D printing preparation, or establishing a flat surface across any type of topology. Release the constraints of designing low polygons with the bevel arc and bevel flat brushes. These brushes allow you to apply various bevel widths or create unique chamfer to any mesh. They will work perfectly with dense pieces of geometry to provide unique freedom designing without having to worry about your topology flow. Continue to refine your hard surface designs with Bevel Pro, as this feature works hand in hand with our live boolean system to provide an interactive real-time bevel or chamfer to any hard edge. The Mesh for Mask is an amazing, fast, and simple set of brushes that allow you to create base messages from any mask. These are perfect to work with existing mesh to create a piece of armor for your next sci-fi suit. You can either jump directly to sculpting, or you can continue to refine the outline by adding it subtracting it, or cutting holes. Not only is this perfect for hard surface modeling, but you can use these masking shapes to create just about anything you can imagine. Use a mask balloon brush to outline your desired shape to create a volume, any design fit for an ocean, and so much more. Even use these unique brushes to create a three-dimensional graphical scene, perfect for your next holiday card, illustration, or billboard. Continuing with design, the Project Primitive Deformer offers a unique way to build a base mesh, add the perfect transition to any piece of geometry, build up volume on the surface, or in this case, completely design a sci-fi ship. This system allows you to project additive or subtractive primitive shapes directly into your surface by using a cylinder, a sphere, a cube, a diamond, or so many other unique shapes to create a workflow that opens up creative freedom. ZBrush is known for its multi-resolution high polygon sculpting system, but we've also continued to expand on how an artist can create low polygon models with our Z Modeler brush. You can start from any shape or start from a single plane and use the edge extrusion options to build upon a single plane. Use this brush to retopologize a model or build a new surface on top of an existing surface. Our Sculptris Pro is a dynamic tessellation sculpting workflow that enables you to ignore the constraints of polygon distribution and just sculpt. Sculptris Pro will add and reduce polygons as your brush strokes across the surface. With the ability to sculpt on partially hidden surfaces, the limitation of Sculptris Pro has no boundaries. Didn't sculpt those scales deep enough? Need to enhance the surface for 3D printing? The contrast feature provides you with the ability to globally bump all sculpting details or use the contrast brushes to focus on a specific area, all in real time. Thick skin will give the sense of adding, removing, or moving clay across a surface and give any mesh the appearance of having been sculpted as a fine art piece. Thick skin can also be used to establish a specific plateau from which to build upon a surface, or even be used to apply scribe lines to a hard surface model.
Now with ZBrush being a part of the Maxon ecosystem, the ability to share knowledge is going to be an incredible time. In fact, I want to introduce Rick Barrett, who's going to show you exactly how ZBrush being part of Maxon is going to be beneficial for all artists.
We're thrilled to have ZBrush as part of the Maxon family and part of Maxon One. There's so many great things we can do together, and one great thing that we've already done. We've taken ZBrush's amazing automatic retopology tool, ZRemesher, and put it directly in Cinema 4D. Now you can use ZRemesher to procedurally retopologize and create beautiful quad-based models from your volume modeling, 3D scans, and virtually any model that you create or import into Cinema 4D. And that's just the start of a great set of modeling tools in Cinema 4D S26. We've also added a great new bridge tool that allows you to connect and patch holes with beautiful quad topology, adding curvature and preserving UVs, vertex weights, and other surface attributes. You can easily transform a selection to a circle, flatten and poke polygons. New tools make it easy to smooth, straighten, distribute, and adjust the flow of edges. These powerful new modeling functions are available as interactive tools, and many can also be applied procedurally as geometry modifiers. We've also added a great new cloth and rope simulation engine that works in a unified fashion, including everything into a single simulation scene. Not only does this make it easy to simulate cloth and splines together, but it also offers great new realistic tearing, balloon and plastic properties, and it can be calculated on the CPU or the GPU. We've added a ton of workflow enhancements across the application, from a new system for background tasks to a filtered font chooser, initial support for variable fonts, and improved SVG support directly in the vector import object. Finally, let's talk about rendering. Redshift offers a great solution for photorealistic rendering, and as we focus our efforts on Redshift, we want it to be everywhere, and especially in the hands of all of our Cinema 4D artists, regardless of their system. Here's Ellie with a look at all that's new with Redshift, including a first look at Redshift CPU.
Redshift is our production class render engine designed for every major 3D tool. It offers a biased approach to rendering for the best possible control and performance results. One of our goals here at Maxon is to provide a single native render solution inside of Cinema 4D. And with this new release, we're one step closer by introducing Redshift everywhere. Previously, Redshift has been a GPU-only renderer. With this huge new update, Redshift 3.5 can now run on the CPU, giving us the opportunity to have even more host applications and enabling more artists to create and work with Redshift. Now every Cinema 4D subscriber can create photorealistic imagery with Redshift, no matter what computer they use. With S26, we're continuing to better integrate Redshift into Cinema 4D, with the aim of making it feel like a native part of the app. These new updates include a dynamic palette workflow, which update to show only Redshift tools when changing your renderer, as well as an improved viewport preview for node-based materials. Prior to this release, materials were seen in a simplistic way, making it harder for users to visualize. But as of S26, our node material previews are now a lot more visually accurate inside the viewport, with improved support for Maxon noise, MoGraph color, and other material properties like reflections from HDRIs. We've also increased the integration between Redshift and Cinema 4D's node editor, allowing users to work more efficiently with plans for more upgraded functionality in the future. Alongside these features comes an all-new Redshift standard surface, which offers incredible realism with intuitive controls, including a Lambert Spheres BRDF for porous materials and a thin film BRDF. You can now create beautiful materials using industry standard parameters, as well as translate materials from other rendering systems with ease. Finally, here's a quick recap of just some of the other top features being released or already available to Redshift users. With 3.5, Redshift RT now supports Maxon noise, hair and particle primitives, subsurface scattering, depth of field, and OSL shaders. We've also expanded into 2 new DCCs, Vectorworks and ArchiCAD. Performance enhancements include better time to first pixel and better light functionality. And finally, Redshift OSL shaders are now supported on Metal. With Maxon now focusing all of its rendering energy and efforts on Redshift, we're looking forward to an exciting future. And to talk to you about the exciting new features coming to Red Giant, here's Stu Maschwitz.
Hey, this is Stu, and I'm super excited to show you what's new in Magic Bullet and VFX. Let's start with Magic Bullet Looks. I'm going to apply it to this clip here. We've made some changes to how color management works, and we've got a technology preview of ACES support inside of Magic Bullet. We're super excited about it. It's early days, but we didn't want to delay getting it out to people who are already working with and curious about ACES. In order to support that, we've made a couple really nice changes to the way we've always done color management inside of Magic Bullet. And we actually have color management presets here. Whereas before you would have to go in and explicitly choose your input, like let's choose S-Log3, and you can see that I'm properly tone mapping this footage, but it does kind of leave something to be desired. Turns out now we have a nice preset for Sony S-Log3 in, ACES Rec 709 out with a P3 preview. So what does all that mean? Well, I'm just going to click on this preset, and now I'm accurately mapping the colors of this Sony clip to a Rec 709 output, but I've also got this beautiful optional P3 preview here, which I can turn on and off. And all of this is configurable in one place, and you can see these beautiful little colorful icons we have here to show off the input and output color spaces. We can also do some additional super fun stuff. We've got 2 amazing new tools in Magic Bullet that I'm so excited about. The first one is called Optical Diffusion. Optical Diffusion uses our optical glow engine to create an energy-conserving diffusion effect that can match many real on-camera filters. It also makes a beautiful bloom. Look at all these presets. A lot of these are based on real on-the-lens filters. Like here's a double Pro Mist filter, right? And then I can go down and choose a Pro Mist 1/4 for a more subtle effect. I can also choose some various bloom effects designed specifically to enhance 3D rendering. So I'm going to choose Subtle Bloom, and you'll notice that just the highlights are getting this beautiful little soft bloom. And it's got that beautiful optical glow inverse square fall off look. So now you've got a recipe for ACES that is more than just a lookup. You've got this beautiful all-in-one solution for improving your renders. That's optical diffusion. We've also got an amazing tool called halation, and this models real film halation, the way light bounces off the back surface of a piece of celluloid film. We've got great presets here for modern 35mm film stock, which is super subtle, all the way up to Super 16, which has a much more pronounced effect. And we've got this Wild West anamorphic preset that uses the anamorphic toggle to create halation that streaks. Next, I'm super excited to show you real lens flares. This is a brand new lens flare effect, created from scratch using an entirely new technology Let's open the designer and check out real lens flares. The first thing you'll notice is this picture of a lens down here. That's not just for show. Real lens flares works by actually tracing paths of light through a model of a real world lens. That's right, it's a ray-traced lens flare, and that's why we can get some effects that are just not possible any other way. You can see these beautiful reflections moving around here. That is because we are actually tracing rays of light through this real model of a lens. And it's super easy to customize and make it your own, and you don't have to know anything about how a lens works to do it, other than what you might do with a real world lens, like for instance, adjust the f-stop. So you can see if I open up the aperture, the reflections change shape. And if I stop down, like here I am at f8-ish, not only do my reflections get smaller, but the spikes in my starbursts also got spikier. We've got a ton of great presets here based on real lenses. These are actual simulations of real world lenses. So here's a Canon 18-55 lens, and here's that same lens zoomed into 35mm. And you can see, we call these little guys the squids, these little reflections that fold back on themselves. This is not something you're gonna get from sliding two-dimensional sprites around on top of each other. In fact, the fact that it's real ray trace light makes it super fun and easy to customize because you can actually adjust the color temperature of the light. And look how organic and beautiful this is. We're not just multiplying a color by the light, we're actually changing the color temperature of a real spectral light source that we're spectrally rendering. That's why you get these beautiful chromatic edges on some of these reflections. If I select the light source, I get even more control. So of course I can change the brightness of the light, but I can also change the size of the light, which is really nice because not only does it make a nice big flare, but it makes softer reflections, which I think look really great. So we've got a bunch of amazing presets here based on real lenses. Here's a Panavision lens. Here's a Nikon 24-70. Here's a Zeiss 75mm. Here's a crazy Panavision. Look at all these elements, including stylized ones that are based on these real lens models, but that give you a little more artistic control here. This is literally a 1.5-inch tall toy, and it just has no business looking this good. That's the power, the transformative power of applying simple but beautiful, realistic lens flares to something as ridiculous as, you know, my favorite thing, a toy on a stick. We have so much more that we want to do with real lens flares. We're still working on it as I speak, adding more features and more realism, but we couldn't wait to get it into your hands to get some early feedback. So that's an early look at OpenColor I/O support in Magic Bullet Looks, our two exciting new tools, optical diffusion and halation, and then of course our brand new tool for VFX, real lens flares.
Red Giant Universe is a suite of powerful GPU-accelerated plugins for video editors and filmmakers, used for motion graphics, image stylizing effects, transitions, text treatments, and animated backgrounds. Building on the performance enhancements introduced in Universe 5.1, including support for multi-frame rendering in After Effects, and M1 support for Mac, Universe 6 now comes with even more tools for adding visual flourishes, effects, and transitions right on the timeline. Chromatown is a chromatic streak and blur tool that splits an image into colorized subdivisions, enabling you to add morphing color distortions to your footage and motion graphics. Chromatown combines the power of directional, linear, and radial blurs with chromatic separation all in one place, and of course comes with fully customizable presets that help you create chromatic warping effects. Use the Chroma Style presets to switch between spectrum, tint, and colorize to find the look you're going for, and control how the chroma warp begins and ends with a series of controls that include color, position, scale rotation, lens distortion, and blur. Sketchify enables you to very quickly and easily give your video and designs the look of a cartoon, comic book, or painting. Using unique algorithms, Sketchify transforms your images into cartoon shading and lines. Sketchify allows you to dial in the intensity of the ink contour lines. Use the ink texture presets to add treatments like concrete, crumpled paper, crayon, and marker pen. It also pairs nicely with other Universe effects, such as texturized motion. Box Bokeh is a fast blur bokeh, which uses logarithmic image processing to make for a faster rendering pseudo-lens blur effect. Adjust the blur amount to turn up the bokeh effect, and adjust the gamma to control the intensity of the blur, and control the rotation of the bokeh shape to go from square to diamond. Stretch Transition performs a stretchy crossfade between two clips. It does this by generating a gradient and using displacement distortion. It allows additional creativity with exposure and blur controls, giving you the ability to instantly add dynamic energy to edits. And don't forget, the presets in Universe can be shared across multiple hosts, including the ability to design and save your own custom presets, allowing you to save time and also share and standardize design elements with colleagues and team members. Maxon has tools that span the entire creative process. Here's Garrett to tell you more about the new features in Forger.
Forger is Maxon's professional sculpting solution for iPad. It offers an intimate and immediate experience for creators, anywhere they want to work. Forger offers a broad array of sculpting tools. This includes intuitive symmetry capabilities. And Forger offers sculpt layers for complex interactions like these facial movements. These can be used to create blend morphs and animation workflows. Forger already offers the ability to exchange models with Maxon's venerable Cinema 4D. Now we are bringing Cinema 4D's powerful polygonal modeling tools to Forger. The latest version of Forger now offers a large gallery of polygonal primitives: cubes, spheres, platonics, cones, pyramids, and many more shapes. These primitives can be used as the basis for powerful sculptures. Using this simple torus, we can quickly make a realistic donut sculpture, complete with icing and sprinkles. This is the very first step in Maxon's goal to bring comprehensive polygonal modeling toolsets to Forger, expanding its capabilities to many new workflows and bridging the divide between the exactness of hard surface modeling and the free expression of sculpting.
Everything you've just seen is available via Maxon app. Cinema 4D, Redshift, Red Giant, Universe, Forger, and now ZBrush, all included in Maxon One for the same affordable price. All these great additions are available to subscribers today.
We are thrilled to return to in-person events with NAB next week, and hopefully we get to see a lot of you at the show. We have an amazing lineup of artists who are excited to show how they use Maxon tools in real-world projects. And don't worry, for anybody who can't attend, you'll be able to check it out because we'll be streaming the whole thing live. Even though we're returning to live in-person shows, doesn't mean we're backing off from our virtual events. The 3D Motion Design Show will continue every month. And don't forget, we have daily webinars showcasing a ton of inspirational and educational content across all of our products.
These exciting updates show our commitment to regularly add value to Maxon One and inspire and empower your work. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your creative journey.
This is what it's like to love in stereo.
Join specialist sports production instructor Jason Hare for a series of free webinars, designing and creating statistics-based MOGAT templates for use in Adobe Premiere. Using real-world techniques he developed for the 2018 World Cup and 2019 Rugby World Cup, Jason will show you how to build templates in After Effects, combining Red Giant Universe, custom expressions, essential graphics panel techniques, as well as data.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and creatives of all ages to the Maxon booth here at NAB 2022. It's great to see everyone. It has been far too long, and we're at day 2, believe it or not. It's going so quick. It's moving so fast now. It's so quick. For those of you who are tuning in online, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good mid-morning, wherever you are in the world. We love having you at the 3D Motion Show. For those of you who don't know, the 3D Motion Show is where we broadcast amazing artists every month showcasing how they use Maxon One products in their pipeline and workflow. And you can join us there. You can join chat. We'll ask questions live to our presenters. So it's a great time. And plus, you get an opportunity to win thousands of dollars worth of prizes at the end of the season. Just make sure you jump into 3dmotionshow.com and type in your info. And that's it. It's just that simple. And then you get a chance to win. So today we have another amazing lineup of killer presenters, just absolutely mind-blowing, at least for me, and I'm sure you'll feel the same. And we're going to start that all off with Wusung Kang.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. My name is Wusung Kang. First of all, thank you so much for having me, and especially Sasha and Mattia who invited me. I'm so grateful. And it's been almost over 10 years. I've been a huge fan of the NAB show, and I've learned a lot from this show. So it's such a huge honor to be with you, everyone here, and a lot of talented artists who I learned from this show. So I'd like to give you back something by giving a lot of tips and tricks for Cinema 4D today. So I have Music Visualizer. There are 2 songs from incredible electric duo band Odessa, but before to show this one, I'd like to show my demo reel first so you can see my other work as well. Thank you for watching. So as you can see, I'm using Cinema 4D for so many different type of the projects, such as a TV show title like True Detective or Life of Kylie, and movie title design and main on end title for Ghost in the Shell and Skyscraper. Also music video for Jay-Z, J Balvin, and a lot of different type of the commercial work as well. Also, I had a chance to work for all 2018 title sequence, also 2019 short film. And this is the work I collaborated with Sasha, incredible artist who presented yesterday. So if you missed, then please check that out. And I want to say thank you to Ilya Abulnahov, who gave me a chance to work on this project as a lead motion designer. And I had a chance to work on this shot, modeling, texture, lighting, animation, UI animation, everything in Cinema 4D. Also, this shot, I used X particle to make this bubble. And also, this is not my work, but I inspire a lot from this piece, Destiny opening cinematic, directed by Simon and Ilya. And what happened was, with that director, I had a chance to work on this one with Cinema 4D. So as you can see, this shot entirely done in Cinema 4D. Also, in this cinematic, Destiny 2, I built this character using dynamic joint and modeling, texture lighting, also animated texture in Cinema 4D. And this all shot the beginning of cinematic. We had really small team, only Blake, me, and Taehoon Park, amazing artists. We just worked on this one for beginning part of the cinematic. And this one also, I'm gonna show you how I did the camera animation using my own camera rig later. So this one, camera animation also done in cinema. And this amazing Apex Legends 6 cinematic, also I use my own camera rig to animate rotating around this bullet and texture light in Cinema 4D. Not only the commercial, I'm using the Cinema 4D for my personal project, NFT work, and visualizer. So I've been enjoying so much over a decade using cinema as a 3D artist, also motion designer. This one is really meaningful work for me because I was just having fun playing this visualizer as a fan of Odesa's new music, Bronson Tense. And what happened was I got a chance to work on their official visualizer after just posting this one online. So today I'm going to show you Odesa's two visualizer. First one is The Last Goodbye, and the next one is Behind the Sun. And thanks to Odesa, allow me to show the second one, Behind the Sun, because this one even hasn't released yet. They're gonna release this visualizer tomorrow on YouTube channel. So if you like to watch entire visualizer, then please check that out at 12 p.m. on YouTube. It's incredible music. So today I prepare a teaser version of it, so you can see just sneak peek of the visualizer, but also you can see what you're gonna learn today. So let's watch this one. All right. So thank you for watching. So we're gonna learn from The Last Goodbye, clonal light animation and multipass light animation from the Behind the Sun. I'm gonna show you how I optimize Megascan, also dynamic simulation, and camera, my own custom rig camera as well. So there's a lot of things to do. So I just trimmed the 6-minute version of The Last Goodbye visualizer in 1 minute. So let's watch this one as well.
Let me down easy. Let me down easy. Let me down easy. Let me down easy. Let me down easy.
we have a lot of light animation is going on. It looks complicated, but it is not complicated with me. I'm gonna show you from the scratch so you can follow with me so you can apply on your own project as well. So let's dive into Cinema 4D. And as you can see, we have, it looks like kind of like complete setup with cloner and light and cone and plane effector, radial fill and delay, but it is not that complicated. I'm gonna show you from the beginning how you can make this kind of light animation. So let me go to open the new project, and in New Cinema 26, the thing you have to make sure is you have to select the renderer first that you're gonna use, because they optimize for Redshift now. It's built in. So when you just make the area lights, it's Redshift area lights. So it makes so easier now. And I'm going to open the Redshift environment, and let me bring Redshift render view so we can see what's going on with the render. I'm gonna just bring this on the side so we can see better with this layout. And when I just hit the render, it might look too bright because we have a volume lighting is going on. So I usually go with lower number. And the good thing about using area light, you can use this spread to make it a little bit different angle. Also, you can change the size, even the shape of the tip of the lights, and you can change the color as well. So we got this color of the lights, and what I want to do is using this with cloner and just put in this under cloner. And from cloner, I'm gonna change it to radial so we can have multiple lights here. Also, maybe we can have more. And I'm gonna just make it a little bit wider. And let's go to change a little bit of rotation, something like this. Yeah, already we got pretty similar shape of the light as you saw from the visualizer. And what I want to do with MoGraph is you can add plane effector on the cloner. And you can use this one for changing position or rotation. But what I want to use is scale. So I'm going to just make it -1 so we can completely kill the lights. But thing is, with the field, you can get pretty awesome effects. Something like you can turn on the light, something like this. And the best thing is you can use offset to turn it up, the light animation and rotating light animation, something like this. And I got M1 Ultra now. It's super fast. I'm really surprised by it. And I'm going to, but when we render out, this is not real time. So when I do especially music visualizer, I do like to see in real time. So usually I make polygon and attach to the light, and we can change the size a little bit. And to use this one as an indicator of what light is on. So okay, so we got this one, and let's start the animation. If you go to plane, and we can change the offset for rotating animation. So I'm just going to open the timeline, and I'm gonna start animation from 0 frame as 0, and maybe 30. We can go 1 spin 360. All right. So we got this 1 spin animation here, and if you click this one and radial field, and go to function and track after, continue after, and let's see what it does. If you use this one as linear mode right here, then as you can see, I'm gonna just make it a little bit bigger here. The graph is keep going on. So even if you have a 2 keyframe, the animation is keep going on. So it is really easy way to make this animation. Also, what you can do is you can add delay effect, delay layer on top of this. So as you can see, this is a really cool animation that it has a little bit of dissolve on the lights. Also, you can add random field in between this layer, so you can get a little bit of different power of the light for each light. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the animation speed, so you can constantly random size is changing. And yeah, already we got pretty cool animation. And another tip is when you play with Cinema 4D, just click all the things, just try it and see how it changed. So we got this animation, but when I change this number iteration in here, it already got pretty cool animation like the visualizer. So we got really cool animation here, but just make sure when you play render, because you are using this geo as indicator, it's blocking the light. So just turn off the visibility, then you're gonna see the light like this one. And the main difference between the first one and this one is when you're working on some visualizer that need to control a lot of stuff, then you might find yourself just going some object and animating something and go light and click something. So you might spend more time just finding some object. So for my case, I just make some controller that I can control everything what I need in one tab using Espresso user data. So I'm gonna show you how you can make it in Cinema 4D. So let's go back to the one we were making on. You can just make a null. I'll just name it as control. And you can put everything in here. And let's see what we want to animate. Maybe we can change the radius of the light, also rotation. So let's try it out. Okay, in control, click user data, add user data, and then let's name it rotation. And this one can be degree, of course. And let's add one more, can be radius. This one can be length unit, all right? And then go to programming tag and Espresso. And just drag this layer to here. And we have cloner we want to animate. And let me make it a little bit bigger so we can see better. And go to user data, radius, and rotation. And as you can see, radius goes cloner's radius. And this rotation goes cloner's transform, rotation, and pitch rotation. Then as soon as you connect it, you can go to control and go user data, and you can change the size and rotation, something like this. So in this way, you can even add a light or cone, any effector as you want, just here, so you can control everything in one tab. So that was about the tip of the first visualizer. But there's another way we can animate this light even without the keyframing in Cinema 4D. So I want to show you how you can set it up, multipass light animation in Cinema. This one is a multipasses that I separated out, so you can render out everything in just one-time render, but such as the main light and spotlight. And this one is background light. And if you combine it, you can animate this one in using After Effects compositing. So I want to show you how you can set it up, that multipasses in Cinema 4D. So let me open the new file, light multipasses. Oh, let me turn off. All right. So we got this shot here way brighter than what we saw before because I turned on all the lights because I want to use it separately. So let me just type in here lights and let's see what's going on here. So this spotlight is here that I want to separate to use it as a multipass. And we have these two lights on the background. I want to use it as a separate. So I'll just click this one and go to detail, and there's an AOB light group. And if you click this one, and I can just name it as you want. And this one is back. I'm gonna change this one as a back. And R26 has amazing layout that has Redshift AOB Manager is right here, so I can control way easier. Before it was in here, and then I have to go to advanced mode and select AOB and click this one. So thank you, Maxon, my life way easier. And let me show you what is this one. Then this is the beauty path, what we see here. So I'm going to just bring this one here. And in the beauty path, you can click all light group, and what it does, as you can see here, it shows the path what we want to use as our multipasses. So now we have back lights and we have spotlights. So we can use this one as a separate multipass in After Effects. So I want to show you the next step. Let me turn off the render first. And okay. So in After Effects, this part I pre-recorded to make it faster. So as you can see, I got a bunch of the multipasses as you saw. And what I'm doing this with is by just adding mode with opacity animation, you can get this animation really easily. So for an example, this layer, if I turn it off, the layer, you can control each layer in After Effects. And if you're a lazy person, there's another way you can animate without even keyframing in After Effects. I'm using the soundtrack from the Odessa, and just go to making one solid, so you can use sound key. With the sound key, I'm gonna just connect the sound layer you wanna use. And as you can see, we see the graph here. And I wanna use drum bass. So I'm gonna just move around this green box to where the drum bass is. And then you can just hit apply. Then what it does, hit you, then the layer gonna show the keyframe you're gonna get. And this is the data we got from the sound, and just connect this opacity of the multipass. And as you can see, it automatically sync the light passes to the music. So in this way, we can have maybe one more, something like this, and just using same music, but this time I'm gonna use different area to get the beat from the different sound. All right, and just same as before, just apply, hit U, you're gonna get the keyframe here. And now let's connect different light passes we render out from Cinema 4D. All right. Then as you can see, when you play, the background has different bits, so they're syncing with different bits of the sound from the wave file. So in this way, you can easily get the animation, something like this. So this technique I use really a lot of time for any other project as well. Something like this one, Main Onan title from Archive, directed by Ilya. So I use same technique, I just rotating right around the lens and just turn on and off the lights. Also shift the color, a little bit hue. So that's how I got made this one as well. So I hope you find the way you can do this one for your own project and apply, and just try it. It will be so much fun. All right, I have Odessa Behind the Sun. This one hasn't released yet, as I told you before. So I can show you only the beginning part of the music. So let's watch this one first. All right, so there's a lot of things going on. Lightning hitting the rock, there's an explosion. Okay, let's start with the main rock first. I want to show you how I made this one with Quixel Megascan to get all this detail, but also as a one cohesive piece. So Quixel Megascan is really useful 3D scan data that you can use for your nature scene or the environment scene. Also, there's a 2D scan texture and 3D assets, and there's a 3D plans. So there's so many assets that you can use for your own project. And even if you install the Quixel Bridge, you can change the export setting to directly Cinema 4D and just install the plugin. Then you can export the scan data to the Cinema 4D directly. So I want to show you how I use the Megascan. So let's go back to Cinema. And now I want to show you, go to Megascan here, and I'm gonna just turn off this one for now. All right, okay. As you can see, I have this pretty cool rock that I use only 3 Megascan. So there's this kind of shape in Megascan, but just by using these 3 Megascan rock, I was able to make this shape. So in Cinema 4D, I'm just gonna select these 3, maybe this one, and there's an instance you can copy the same object in here, but the best thing is you can use it as a render instance. So even you are copying over and over a lot of object, it doesn't take that much of the memory of your GPU, so you can render way faster than just by copying over original geo to make this kind of shape. So I really recommend to use instance and render instance for this one. And the good thing is you can hide it by, if you put everything in the null, you can just hide the null, then the Megascan, you can still use it, but it's not visible. So you can use this render instance, something like this. So all these are from the Megascan, that 3 object, but I just changed the scale and rotation. So it's almost like a Lego building that, like just building one by one. All right. So that was an easy way, a quick tip for optimizing the Megascan. And I want to show you dynamic simulation. So we got pretty cool rock, and now it's time to animate this simulation. So it's not really hard. It's really easy setup. You can follow with me. So let's go back to Cinema 4D. And I want to go here, and let me turn it off, this one for now. So we got this object and all the instance here with the cloner. So all these are from the same Megascan data. And with the cloner, what you can do is, if I connect this one with circle or random, then you can change the position or scale or rotation, something like this. And the good thing about using cloner with circle is, if I play here, there's a really simple setup you can use, something like this, to rotate this rock around the main rock. And the good thing is there's a rate variation that it gives a different speed for each rock, so you can get pretty cool animation. But as you can see, there's a rock just passing by and overlapping because there's no simulation in here. So I want to show you how you can easily add simulation on top of it. So in Cinema 4D 26, there's a bullet tag that you can add rigid body. Then it starts just falling down because we have gravity in here. So Command D, I'm going to bullet and general, just kill the gravity for now. Then as you can see, rock is no longer falling down, but it's getting further away from the animation I wanted to. So in that case, just go to force and add a little bit of number like 2 for position, rotation. And what it does, you can get a pretty cool animation as you intended, but also this kind of the small detail like hitting and interacting each other. So it's way cooler than just using the cloner with effector. So simulation will give you way more powerful animation. All right, so we have this one. And the way how I did the exploding rock from the lightning is actually not from the lightning. I cheated it. I'm gonna show you how I cheated. So I have spear, that simple spear, just spear. I have collider, bullet collider. As soon as you got collider, you can use it and just hit all this rock. And you can just hide this visibility then. It just look like lightning is hitting. So I use this technique for animating those rocks. But the cool thing is you can connect this on with the music, so you don't need to deal with all the animation. So I'm gonna show you how you can set it up with Mogra, effector, and sound. So effector, you can use it for cloner, but also you can use for individual object. So I'm just put this one in here. And for the sound, I'm gonna look for the best music in the world, which is, let me show you. All right, Behind the Sun, of course. And I wanna use this drum bass area to generate the animation. And before you start the animation, just make sure your deformer is on the object so you can get this animation. But what I want to use is not position change. I want to change the scale so it can be bigger. So I'm just going to sound and parameter, turn up position. I'll change the scale. Let's do maybe 10. Oh, it's crazy. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. All right, I think this is good. And sound, maybe let's make it maybe even bigger, maybe 20. All right. Yes, we got the spear that reacting with the music. I can show you something like this. And then let me just turn on the visibility so you can see better without it. So with the beats, I just made the lightning just passing with the same timing when it explodes. So it just looked like this is exploding. And I want to show you in keynotes that but then I have a main rock that interacting with the small rock as well. Not just small rock is exploding, but also it has interaction with when it's hitting the main rock. There's a couple of ways you can achieve this one, but I want to show you the best way in Cinema 4D. So here, I'm just gonna bring only the main rock so you can see better here. There's a volume that you can use for so many purposes in Cinema 4D, but for now, I want to use this volume for main rock to make it as a one object. As a one object, you can use this one for maybe particle animation or different simulation, rather than having as a separate object because there's a more geo. So I'm just optimizing this object with volume measure. But if you're using as a render instance, it's not gonna change. So I'll just change it to instance. Then there's a problem. Like we see a little jaggy area because sometimes there's a megascan that has hole on the bottom. That's why it's getting this issue. So I want to show you how you can fix this one as well. So go to Volume Builder and select the object that you want to fix and just close the hole. Right now, the multi-selection is not supported, but I believe Maxon gonna just update it for next version. So after we fix this one, yeah, as you can see, we got clean geo, but if you go to light mode, this is too heavy. It's gonna be too heavy. So I'm gonna show you how you can optimize geo by polygon reduction. Just dropping in polygon reduction, just calculate only few seconds, you're gonna get this really clean geo that optimized for collider object. So I'll just use this one as a current state object. Then it will just make one more layer, as you can see here. So we have option, if we need to change, we can just go back and change the setting. But we got this layer that I want to just copy over to the file we are working on. And I'll just copy in here. It's the same position. I'll just use this one for the main rock. And I'll just turn off the visibility. But what I want to use is collider. So as you can see when we play, we don't see the interaction that much because the size is a little big. So I'm going to just bring down maybe this much. So as you can see, we got pretty cool colliding simulation in here. And if you hit Control D or Command D and go to visualization and show enable, then it will show how the collider even works in Cinema 4D. So this is the one way you can optimize the simulation. And one tip for making with the simulation is, after you finish the simulation, just hit Command D and go to Cache and bake it. The reason I bake it is when I render heavy scene or something that I need render farm or render with other computer, without bake, you might have jump render because each computer and each time render and simulate differently. So this is really important. You don't miss it. And after you finish this one, let me show you one sec. Yeah. So we got pretty cool animation and simulation, but I want to show you what remesh does. So there's the same function like polygon reduction, but if you use remesh instead, you're going to get a little bit more cleaner and more detailed geo that you can use for maybe particle animation that need more geo, something like this. Also, this one supports quad geo, quad polygon. So if you use this one, what you can do, let me go back to 6. So this, 7, okay. So from this one, as you can see, I got this remesh instead of the polygon reduction, and you can get pretty clean geo, something like this. And from this one, what I want to do is particle simulation. So I'm going to show tools and paint tool, and in the vertex mode, I mean the point mode, you can just paint the area you want to generate emitting the particle from. And by hitting shift, you can smooth it out as well. The reason why I'm painting only the bottom is instead of having all the particle from the main rock, I want something like falling from only the bottom, like debris falling down. So I'm just painting out something like this. And as you can see, if you click the vertex map, click the use fill, and add shader fill. And what I want to use is shader fill with noise. And I'm going to make it bigger, something like this. And then more contrast. And we can add animation on this one. And instead of using this mode, let's go back to here. Now we have a max mode, but if you subtract it, then you can get this cool animated vertex animation that you can use it for particle animation. So it's not just generating particle from same area over and over. It has a randomized position, so it will be more natural. So we got this one. And I have a X particle system that you can download it from the link that I'm going to share. But this is the same test I did, you just saw. And I got this vertex map, and I want to show you how you can connect with X particle. So in the X particle, go to object, and just drag down this optimized object. And as you can see, this particle is generating from all around. But as soon as you drop this vertex map, we made it, then this particle is falling down from only the position in this animated vertex map. Also, I have one more vertex that I want to use for something cool. This time also I'm going to use the spear. Just drop down the spear here. And as you can see, just by hitting the spear, you can get pretty cool particle animation because this one has filled with the vertex map. So when spear is close to this vertex map, it will show this. Let me show you. Maybe it can be a little bit closer, something like this. So you can see a little bit yellow area here. So this is where the particle is coming from. So if you hit some geo, something like this, then even you can get hitting, exploding particle animation as well. So this is a really simple way you can get the animation. And the good thing about using Redshift is you can even drop the particles in here, the mega scan object, so you can render out some mega scan object with the particle as well. So that was about this section. And let me go to keynotes. And let me show you my custom camera rig that I use for so many different type of the project. So this is the camera that I made for so many reasons. Like when I work on the Destiny 2 Beyond Light trailer, I wanted to make pretty efficient camera that can rotate around certain main object, also have some vibration tag, and I wanted to control everything in just one tap. So I just make the rig. For this one as well, IMAX, I use that camera. And this one, Apex, I'm rotating around the bullet with the camera that I'm going to show. And this one, I haven't shown anything on the internet yet because this is just a pitch to the Odeja for the first time visualizer. So I was Hyunsub An helped the modeling and Jeong-Seok Yang helped the rigging to test this one out in only 3 days. So we worked together and make this test. Just let me show you first. Yeah, all right. So as you can see, the camera is rotating around the main character, something like this. And even it can change the position or distance to the object. And I made a controller that you can control the rolling camera and everything in one tap. So I want to show you how you can use this one. Okay, so let me open here. So this is the first shot from behind the sun. This is the same way I just shown you. I just have a little bit more rocks, but in the same way you can animate and simulate something like this. And this is a big camera, but I want to bring my own camera rig so I can show you from the beginning. So I have this camera, and you can copy over to this file. Or if you have Finder, then just drag this camera and hold Shift and drag it. Then it will combine the scene as well. This is another tip. All right, so I have this two panel view. You can change it here from the arrangement side by side. So left side is what you see from the camera, and right side is the perspective mode that we can move around. And one tip, when I do the camera animation, usually I change this one, go to configure, and then save frame. I just make it dark so I can see better composition without seeing extra opacity layer here. So I can get more accurate composition with it. And let me show you from this rig. Okay, this camera rig is here. And go to camera control. You can control rotation and camera height. Also the distance, something like this. And even you can tilt or roll. And you can change the focal length. And there's a target position. You can move the target you want to focus on. Also, you can change the focus as well. So these are the main thing I always use for camera animation. So I just put everything in here with the espresso tag. And I want to show you how I did the camera animation from the beginning. Okay, so maybe we can start from here, and then maybe we can go higher. And then this one can be pretty close at the beginning. And maybe we can tilt camera. And let's move this target position to somewhere, maybe here. So when I do a lot of cinematic work or some motion graphic work, I don't want to reveal the main object at the beginning. I want to reveal a little later, so it tease, and then you show the main object later. So like, ta-da, we have something to show right now, something like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna just offset the target position here, so we can reveal later. And let's go to at the end. I just want to go back to normal position. Oh, 1 second. Okay, 0, 0, and just click here. So target is center now. And what I want to do with the camera, maybe I can go further and maybe lower, but I don't want to tilt the camera anymore. So it can be 0, and we can do more rotation, something like this. All right, and let's open the timeline here. And I usually go with the linear first, so I can see what kind of camera is it, and the speed is matching well. So let's see how it works. Yeah, we're labeling main object. Exploding is here and there. It's looking so cool. Already we got one camera animation. And when you like one camera animation, I just make bunch of versions for the commercial, especially product commercial. Like a day in this way, you can make 100 angle, different animation, and just render out as a preview. And with the editor, is this good or not? And then we can just switch it out and then finding the best angle at the end. So I just copy this one. So I like maybe the end part, but maybe this is too much of rotation or off from the center. Then I just go back from the beginning and make another camera and change the position. And editor doesn't like rotating too much, then yeah, maybe we can less rotation, something like this. And if you want to start from closer to the object, yeah, just change it something like this and just play it. Then we got a little bit different camera, but maybe the creative director or client likes it. So in this way, I can just copy over and over and make more version of it. And one other tip I want to show you is when I'm working on the camera, especially, you want to think about what kind of situation it is. And what if this is a real situation, real camera rig, what you're going to use and what will be the animation for that. So we are in the pretty bad weather, that's lightning hitting, maybe there's a windstorm. So we want to add a little bit more realistic feeling by adding vibration. So we got pretty cool vibration here, and if you add frequency here, you can get more intense animation like this. And also, Cinema 4D have really good motion camera. If you type Control-C, Shift-C, motion camera, and I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna just combine this one. So I have here, and I'll just drop down the camera from the my main camera. And as you can see, this camera has even motion camera. You can add some of the head rotation or camera rotation that Cinema built. So you can mix these two cameras to get better animation, and you can bake this one out as well. So when you're working on the camera, you can blend it or mix it. And there's not much time I can go through all the camera setup, but you can check it in here as well. All right? And the next one is, so if you like the camera you made, then you can bake the camera. Just click the camera you want to bake and go to function and bake object. All right? And you're going to get the camera that you will copy over to the new file. So you can just save only the camera. And what I do with this, bring this to the After Effects and then drop down the layer here. So you can use this camera data to come additional element on top of After Effects project. So as you can see, I have these layers like the cloud on the background. So I just place in 3D space in After Effects, but because I have a 3D camera from the Cinema 4D, I can get accurate position for this one as well. And I just comp it a little bit and add color. So as you can see, I got this shot with compositing and 3D data, camera data from Cinema 4D to the After Effects. So that was about music visualizer with Cinema 4D today. Thank you so much for Odessa allowing me to use these two songs for today's presentation. Also, if you like today's presentation, you can learn some of the stuff from Colosso. I'm teaching. I had pre-record class that in that class, 24-hour, you can learn texture lighting, rendering, design principle, also principle of animation, and almost everything for the Cinema 4D. And these are amazing student work as well. And there's an Instagram link. You can download the camera rig that I shown you. And this is my Instagram. And you're gonna see this link to download those assets. All right. Thank you so much, Maxon, for having me. And yeah, thank you for attending. And I really hope to see you next time. And I was just a beginner, junior motion designer 10 years ago when I was watching this NAB show. But this community is sharing a lot of the technique and tip and tricks. And here, Mattia is our hero that making this good community. So thank you, Maxon, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Amazing, brother. Thank you. I can't believe you got the sneak peeks too. Tomorrow is the drop. Tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow 12 p.m. on YouTube.
Yeah, so check that out. So we have, first of all, the main question, because I had the same one, was, can I get the camera rig? And you already took care of that. So you're welcome, Internet. You're very generous man here. So yes, the camera rig is yours. Just check out your
my Instagram.
Just on the Instagram, the link tree, and you can download it there.
Yes.
So I'll be doing that off camera. So not everybody all at once, so I can get some bandwidth and we can download that. All right. Somebody was wondering, is there an alternative to X particles when you were using the weight map?
Not sure. That's I use X particle only. Maybe we can do the emitter with the vertex, but I haven't tried.
Okay.
But if I got the answer, definitely I'll catch up with that.
So there are a lot of ways that you can. You can cheat it, and even like thinking particles, it would take more work. But definitely there are workarounds, but it would definitely take more work, because that's one of the things about plugins, is it makes things a little bit simpler. Let's see here. Any render setting tips for lighting and volumetric effects?
Volumetric effect. Actually, the latest Redshift, especially, they have adaptive setting that you can easily get the setting. Before it was like individual, so I have to check everything. But usually I just go with adaptive, and you can check the quality of low, high, something like that. So volumetric. Just deal with optimize your scene is the first, and volume is way faster compared to the Octane. So when I do dealing with the volume, usually I work with the Redshift. So
And do you use any tricks in After Effects to create volume or volumetric lighting, or do you do it all?
You can in AOV you can select the volume path as well. So if you want to add a little more or comp it, then using AOV to add
volume. Add a volume pass.
Yes.
There we go. We got more coming in. Let's see here. Let's see.
So many questions.
In your user data, why don't you use sliders instead of a value field? Is there a reason why do you prefer?
The one I just shown is just making really fast way. So you can customize those user data as you want. Like you can use slider or just value. So it's all up to you.
It's up to you. You just like the numbers.
I like the number, and because if I want to do the slider, then in the demo I have to show like all the how I set it up and the adjust. So
just keep it number.
keep it simple for now. But you can change it and make it more advanced camera rig than my one.
Awesome. Somebody was wondering where the new T-shirt link is, but we'll take care of that. So if you're looking for new T-shirts, we got the Maxon store. So we'll let Wu answer any questions. So for those of you who are live who have more questions, he'll be in the back for the next hour, so you can get one-on-one, dive deep into his process or any of his other art. But stay tuned. One of Maxon's very own, Chad Perkins, is going to be up next, diving deep into all things Red Giant. So we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
on now, we're making it. Haven't you heard that I like it? Haven't you heard that it feels so right? Haven't you heard, wanna try it? I'm getting in on your good vibe. This is what it's like to love in stereo. Time's slow when you're feeling it. I know you're needing it. Touchdown, we're driving in. Come on now, we're making it. Haven't you heard that I like it? Haven't you heard that it feels so right? Haven't you heard, wanna try it? I'm getting in on your good vibe. This is what it's like to love and say